Hola chicos, the present perfect, and here you've got the Spanish at the top, what it's called in Spanish. Or you can maybe think about it being the recent past. We have it too in English. So in English, as I've put here, it's when we're saying I have something or he has something. Just watch out in English though, just like in Spanish, there are some irregular verbs. So, for example, walk is fine. It goes I have walked. But if you say eat, you don't say I have eaten, although little children often get it wrong. It's obviously I have eaten. So sometimes you might be thrown by the last word, but it's this I have something predominantly, and he has something, which we've got here. So it's really easy to make. We're going to use this verb here, which actually comes from the verb haber, and it's called an auxiliary verb. If you think of the word auxiliary nurse is somebody who helps. So this is a helping verb, and it's going to help us say I have. Now remember, this a doesn't mean I have owning something. To say I own something, you say tengo un libro, tengo un coche. It's going to be used only really with this combination. So, and it goes like this. The order is always the same for any verb. I, you, he, she, it, we, you plural, they, he, in that order. And then what we're going to do, if it was an AR verb, we're just going to cross off that AR and instead put ado on the end, which is what we've got here. With an ER verb, we're going to take off the ER and we're going to put ido, which is what we've got here. And if it was an IR verb, we cross off the IR and put ido. And this is what we've got here. And this stays like this all the way through. So if I want to say, I have taught, I say, he hablado. If I want to say, we have taught, I say, hemos hablado. So we're changing the bit at the beginning here, but we're not doing anything with this bit at the end. So don't be tempted to start changing this to masculine, feminine, plurals, and anything like that. When it's used with a, as, a, hemos, habéis, and, there's no changing going on here. Next, so you might have seen it at GCSE. For example, this morning, I've had an accident, he tenido. And here we've got some reflexives. We'll come to those in a second. Or you might have said in your lessons at GCSE, he terminado, I've finished. Now, of course, we've always got some irregulars. So here we've got abrir, which goes he abierto, not abrido. And again, it goes he, as, a, hemos, habéis, and, just like we saw on the previous page. And this bit at the end doesn't get altered, doesn't become masculine or feminine, anything like that, but it is a little weird in that it's not abrido, it's abierto. So descubrir means to discover. So write that in when you write these notes. And here we've got he descubierto. Escribir becomes he escrito. Romper catches even some of the Spaniards out. It's he roto. Ver, and romper means to break. So he roto, which we've got up here, I've broken my leg. Or he roto la ventana, I've broken the window. Ver, which means to see. He visto. Morir, to die. He muerto, poner, to put. He puesto, which kind of reminds you of hey presto. So I've put something magical on the table. Hey presto. Volver, to return. He vuelto, decir, to say. He dicho, hacer, to do. He hecho. And just like he abierto, we're just going to change the beginning. He, as, a. Hemos, habéis, and then put the bit that I've put here on the end. Okay? So those are the irregular ones to watch out for. And here we've got a reflexive verb. So we can tell it's a reflexive verb because it has a bottom on it. We've got the word. Now obviously sometimes they're not A-R-S-E. They are E-R-S-E or I-R-S-E, but they are reflexive, and that's what in the dictionary they'll have that say on the end. So let's just concentrate first of all on the reflexive bit. What do we have to put down in front of reflexive verbs? Well, here we go. We have to put a me, a te, a se, a nos, an os, a se. Remember the verb order the same? I, you, he, she, it, we, you, plural, they. Hey. Me actually means not I. It means myself. Te, yourself. Se, himself, herself. Nos, ourselves. Os, yourselves, plural. And se, themselves. And then look what we've got here. We're making these tens the present perfects. So we've got our a, as, a, amos, abes, an, just like we had in the previous slides. And then because it's an AR verb, we can see that here. So if we just forget about that say bit, we've got that already here at the front. Yeah, we've concentrated and managed to get that reflexive bit at the front of the verb already. We've got our verb making it the present perfect, this helping verb here. And then now we know it's an AR verb, we're just going to cross off the AR like we did in previous ones. There we go. And we're going to put ado. And as we can see again, it stays the same all the way through. So that's reflexive verbs. And when's it used then, this tense? Well, here you are. You can stop at any time and read through. It's fairly self-explanatory. Number 1, when we start stories with this year, this month, this something. So this year I have spent a lot of time in Spain, for example. So have a go at translating that first one. Number 2, have you ever? Alguna vez has. So yeah, this would be great to ask in the speaking exam, wouldn't it? Because you've got to ask a question. So for example here, that's a question that you could ask the examiner if you had a stimulus card on chauvinism. How would you translate it? Have a go at doing that. Stop the video, listen to it, do it and write that down. Number 3. I have already somethinged. Ja, e. So here we go, here's another one. Have a go at translating that. And I still haven't something. So here we go. Have another go at doing that. Okay? See if you can figure out how to do it. I've given you some help with these, where in brackets there are some help words to translate the thing just in front. So for example, experimentar means experienced, and machista, chauvinistic, and so on. So you can see there's some help there. And here, in order to, para. And over here in the cabinet. And for women, so on a world scale, that's what this one is here. Managed. Okay, so think about what we've just talked about and the phrases here and how you would translate those. They're all really good things that you could say in the speaking exam. Now some common pronunciation problems. Here we go. There has or have been. Okay, so when we say there is or there are, we use I. So when we want to say there, and the key thing here is there, has been, in Spanish, we would say ha habido. Not sure how clear that is. Let's try it again in black. There we go. Ha habido, which means there has been or there have been such and such a thing. For example, there has been an increase. Do you think you could translate that? Some help words again. And it has been. Notice there's no there here, and it's coming from ser, to be. So it has been would actually be, let's take ser, it's an ER verb, and we've got the it bit, so we're going to go with the a, and then do what we normally do, ha sido. So it has been. This year has been. Have a go at translating that one. Okay, I might just be wondering, how come I get habido from I? Well, I actually comes from a bird as well. It's a widely used verb, this one. So notice, so I comes from a bird, and I means there is, there are. And because this is an ER verb, we're going to do it as normal. We want the there has been, so that it's the like the he, she, it. Habido. Or if you're finding that hard to understand and remember, just remember that if you want to translate there has been or there have been, just say habido. Muy bien. Adios.